It freed me up to really focus on prospecting, working with the warm leads and servicing my buyers and sellers.
He processes an extraordinary amount of work at very high proficiencies.
If they start the day every single day with a meeting, then it's accountability to both of them, but it's also setting up the day to win.
They were talking about a staff member and what could possibly be wrong, and I'm like, just ask them what support do they need.
Hitchhiking one day and out to a place where I was riding horses and a fella stopped and gave me a ride and needed a polo groom that weekend.
It's pretty much most agents' problem is that we don't like prospecting, and it's prospecting that gets us business.
So how did you grow? Like to be in real estate, you've got to be comfortable on the phones. You've got to be able to pick it up and ring. Like how did that come about?
Without further ado, I hope you enjoy this week's episode.
Today on Tasking Anything, we are joined by someone who has taken the leap, literally and professionally, a bungee jumper, a skydiver, and a Ray White office owner. Alexander Shean is a name synonymous with high performance in Brisbane real estate. Starting his career in Ascot in 2010, Alexander climbed and grew, and in 2022 stepped into ownership of Ray White Ascot alongside friend and powerhouse agent Damon Warrett. With a passion for auctions, deep community ties, and an unmatched work ethic, Alexander is now not just selling homes, he is building a legacy. Welcome, Alexander.
Thank you.
Is that a good intro?
That was excellent. Yeah, putting it all into...
Did I get the dates right? This is me...
You did.
Okay,
yeah, you
sweet.
did. They all kind of blur into one eventually, but yeah, that sounds right to me. Yeah.
All right,
thanks for having us.
icebreaker first to get to know who you are.
Sure.
Bungee jumping or skydiving, what was scarier and what would you do again?
I've bungee jumped quite a few times actually, so I would probably say my preference would be bungee jumping. I think it's a bit more of a thrill, but skydiving definitely scarier.
I bungee jumped in 2006 and it was the worst single experience of my life. I would never do it again. It was Taupo, the tallest one in the world, I believe.
Is that the one in New Zealand? Or,
yeah, Taupo. Yeah,
where you go out on the cable.
Yeah. 134 metre jump, and to actually physically throw yourself off a ledge is.
I've done that one twice, I think, and the swing there is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Nice. Yeah. I've never jumped out of a plane and hope I never have to.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, you used to work with your family at the show. The Ekka wasn't a stranger to you.
Yes.
Tell us about, do we call you a carny or a previous carny in a different life?
No, definitely not a carny. You've done your research there. So when I finished school, my dad was a real estate agent. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. On my mum's side of the family, they're definitely not carnies. They're called showmen. Traveling showmen.
Yes.
No, that's okay. It's a bit of a kind of American term, which doesn't go down quite too well, but it's all good. It's they're I think my cousins are now maybe sixth generation in that kind of industry.
Like Sideshow Alley Games?
Yeah, most definitely. We still operate a merry-go-round, which is the oldest travelling antique in Australia, or oldest antique in Australia. It's being restored at the moment. 100 and something, 60 years old. It's a beautiful machine. The rest of my family definitely still really heavily involved. They're here in the show at the moment.
Coming up.
So I left school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was actually working up in Hayman Island just for a bit of a job in the bar and cleaning the pool and stuff like that at the time.
That's
and
a dream.
Then the Easter show comes around. It's Sydney show at Easter time. Went down and when I was a kid at school, like we always worked the Ekka and stuff like that, just on the kids' rides and stuff like that my family had. But went down, was working with my uncle at some of the sideshow games down there.
Do you know the tricks? Do you know, like, when you throw the ball into the bucket, how to get it to stay in the bucket?
Yeah. There's lots of tricks. It's a skill to get it in. But yeah, so worked with him, and yeah, so he operates Dodgem cars. At the time, he had a zipper and roller coaster and
wow,
a whole heap of sideshow games, and I became a sideshow spruiker. So it's a skill in itself. So you've all been to the Ekka or the Sydney show where there's big games and you create a crowd and you gather them in, and it's all about spruiking and holding a crowd and dealing with what's in front of you at the time. You've got like 2 or 3 seconds to identify someone that's walking past, to come across, play, give them a bit of entertainment.
Just like being an auctioneer then?
Just like being an auctioneer, yeah.
Have you done that? Have you?
It's always been, a bit of a thing that I want to do, but I haven't quite got there just yet. I feel like I could do it quite easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that for probably the best part of like 5 years, on and off, travelled with them, worked with my uncle. So he had two games that I used to work quite regularly. He had quite a few of them. The hammer game where the harder you hit it, the higher the score. The higher score, the bigger prize. There you go. I still remember it. A game called the Monkey Raceway, which was a very old game. It's what they call a pool game, where there's like lots of people play and there's one winner.
Yeah.
So we were all about, providing a bit of entertainment and giving back.
Yeah, it's a hosted event.
Yeah, so it's not like you play, you lose, you go away.
Yeah.
Empty-handed. You play, you get involved in the event of the game. There's a winner, and then you always celebrate the winner. So we just did that on repeat. From 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. It was just game after game after game after game after game. And yeah, got really good at it. Loved working in it. Really great lifestyle. Lots of mates in the industry, lots of family in the industry. So, and travelled Australia. So saw from Cairns right over to Adelaide, over to Perth, and we travelled.
Amazing.
All year. Lots of good times. It's not for everyone. I got to a point where I was done with it as well. And then, obviously got back to Brisbane, and my dad was a real estate agent. I think I said that earlier, and kind of swore I'd never be a real estate agent, but
don't we all?
Yeah, but here I am. Yeah.
So you're obviously a big family person. So Christmas or Easter, which is the time of year for you?
Definitely, probably Christmas. Yeah, Christmas. Love a good summer holiday. So and particularly in real estate. As you know, it's really the only time of year that we can actually take some time off and relax, because family time, lots of people are out and about, just not worrying about their properties, they're on holidays, and it's really time that we can enjoy. So yeah, definitely Christmas, and get a chance to have some time off and close the office.
Amazing. Quick fire. Auction day or behind door negotiations?
Auction, definitely.
Riverfront, run at sunrise, or gym session to clear the mind?
I actually did a riverfront run at sunrise this morning, but I haven't done one of those for a long time. I do probably prefer to get up and go to the gym. I'm at the gym probably between 5 and 5:30 most mornings.
Me too. Prestige listing with big pressure, or a first home buyer helping a hand?
Yeah, well, that's a good one. Probably first home buyer, I would say. Yeah, I love the thrill of a big listing, but it's not something that personally I chase. I'd probably deal more in that kind of first home buyer sale or first home buyer buying. My business partner Damon is the opposite. That's his lane. So we leave that up to him.
Perfect. All right, let's get to know you and your business. So you've been with Ray White for 15 years. What has kept you loyal to Ray White? What is it about the brand, the family, the colours? Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier. Ray White, it's the only brand I've ever known. The opportunities, that have been presented to me since I've been there have been enormous, and I've got a lot of loyalty for the brand. But it's also given a lot back. The training, I went to, probably won't name names, but I went to
a different seminar recently that wasn't a Ray White one, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, like, is this what other people have to deal with to be trained? Like, the Ray White training's like amazing, second to none. Like, it's on point. It's ahead of the curve. You know, the Nurture Cloud progress, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely. There's lots of things, but lots of friends also in the Ray White group. A lot
very close family, Ray White.
A lot of my best friends, yeah, like people that I went to school with. Brandon Wortley, who's a Ray White principal as well, and you know, Ray White, you know, obviously Damon, and lots of other friends all work for Ray White. So I am pretty loyal to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's interesting when I get to talk to people, you know, from Ascot and Hamilton, you know, the blue chip suburbs. Like, what's the difference in selling those properties, that area, as opposed to Manly or Coorparoo or Wollongabba, or what has to change, or has there been a change in the last 15 years from 15 years ago sitting down in a suit and the person you were dealing with was that way, or is it changing, or is it just still exactly the same?
About the process, sorry, in
selling?
selling?
like how does an agent tackle, you know, selling a $15 million home?
Yeah.
What's the process of that versus a $1.5 million? Is there a different process, or do you think it's the same process?
I think, yeah, it's a good question. I'm probably pretty lucky because I've always worked in Ascot and worked in a team with Dwight Ferguson, who was the principal owner at the time, you know, sold prestige property. Not that I'm selling prestige property at the moment or as much of it, but I didn't know anything different. We just went straight into dealing with, you know, the high end property at the time, which is not probably considered high end anymore. But the process is the same.
Yeah.
So I teach my guys that work with me now, if they're selling a 1-bedroom unit down at Portside on the riverfront, you know, versus a $4 million house, and they're going to auction, the process is the same.
Yeah.
There are obviously the differences in the price point, and some of those conversations are a little bit different, but fundamentally the process is the same, and we try and keep it that way.
What's been your biggest learning curve since you took over ownership?
Learning curve. Well, yeah, we were talking about this earlier with another mate of mine this morning. Going from being a salesperson for, say, 11 years to being a principal pretty much overnight, there was lots of learnings along the way. But I suppose it was just more, you know, really, as a salesperson, you look out for yourself. As a principal, you look after 40 staff or 40 people that work with us. So the biggest learning curve, I've really just had to learn to kind of broaden my horizon, and it's just not what's in front of me, it's in what's in front of them and how we can improve. So yeah, definitely the biggest learning is not just looking after myself, looking after, you know, everyone else in the team at all levels, from the receptionist, you know, right up and, you know, until the high performers. They're all very different, as you know. So learning how everyone operates and how they like to be communicated with and all that type. It's different.
Yeah.
So I felt I pivoted pretty quickly to being able, and I'm still learning. Like, people tell me all the time that I could probably improve, but I think I've improved a fair bit from just looking after myself for 15 or 11 years.
Yeah, it's a massive change.
Yeah.
So you've been with us now at VA for You for over a year. You've got 2 incredible VAs.
Yep.
Like, what was the decision, I suppose, process when you decided, all right, I need some help, I need a VA, I need someone to help?
Yeah. We spoke to Hayley at Remax at Manly, and she's obviously got lots of you guys VAs as well. But we had some VAs in the past. We were speaking about that before, from other companies, and we just had really bad experiences with them along the way. Looking back on it, we probably really didn't attack it the right way. We expected them to know everything. And we got to a point where we were growing, and our administration team was at capacity. So the decision was made at the time is like, do we put another person on full time in office, or do we exploring the VA kind of the model? And honestly, you know, I couldn't be happier with the progress that, you know, that we've made in that kind of space. It's really shifted my mindset from, you know, having someone in the office. Like, I am a very people person. Like, I want to be able to go and talk to somebody, but not everyone's like that. A bit of a learning, obviously, coming across. Like, some people are just happy to, and we still have some people in the office. Like, we've had a guy in the office that went across to work with our VA, but didn't like it, and is just a people person. But the other two people that work with our sales VA love it. Yeah. Mel was like on the voice note, sending Thas voice notes all the time. Sam's chatting to them, so they've got their own little way of processing or, you know, working with the VA. But so we got to a point where it was like, what do we do? Let's trial this. I was hesitant at the start. We had some people working for us at the time that were very instrumental in training, and that was probably a real big learning for me about setting up their ideal week, setting up their expectations, and teaching.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it a lot. I suppose that there's this 6 weeks worth of I hate saying the word pain, but there's no other word that I can find that's like it. There's 6 weeks of trying to get over that curve of, you know, Thas for you is a prime example. He's a qualified solicitor. Yep. He's incredibly intelligent. He's almost completed his MBA. Yep. But when you throw him into real estate in Queensland, you go, well, you've got to have some level of learning. You know,
of course.
We've given you the basics of understand how to be a human. Yep. But how do I get that real estate learnings? And, you know, Thas now thoroughly enjoys it. And
we expect everyone that starts with us we expect everyone to know everything straight away, even if they're in office. You're like, yeah, cool, you've done admin experience before, come along. Yeah. But we talk about period of incompetence all the time. It's like they're here, we're here until you're aligned is like the point that you're aligned is when it works well. And I suppose with the VAs, you still need to work through that period of incompetence about getting them aligned, and that's the training. So, we do expect them to know everything. And even with some of the agents, when they first started, they're like, come on, like, what's going on? It's like, well, how does he know that? Yeah. Like, how does he doesn't read your mind. Like, you've got to teach him your little ways as well. So it really started like lots of training in the beginning. Like, we'd have like hourly, like not well, not me, but like the administrators within our office at the time were like, we wrote a book, manual. Everyone goes, here's a manual, but like really, like how can you learn from a manual? Yeah. So we decided to do like hourly, like tutorials kind of style. Zoom sessions, like going through how to do it all, and this is the way that we did it. And we still do that to this day. Whenever there's anything new implemented, like the Form 2 that's just come in, you know, we're in process of training them. So we're like, everyone in our office goes to training every week. We train them every week on how to be kept updated on what's happening. And there's always process changes in the office, how we track auctions or how we track our open homes, and like we involve them in that process and teach them how to track it. So across the board, our numbers are the same. Yeah,
I think to be commended, you know, you absolutely include those 2 guys in your team as part of your team. Yeah, and it's one thing that I say to all of my clients: if they can feel part of your team, they'll learn with you, they'll grow with you, they'll help you.
We've got we might touch on it, but the VA that we've got for the rental team at the moment, she's amazing. She's recently joined the team. Ange, sorry.
7 months ago, about 7 months, 6 months. She's like all our team meetings. So the rental teams obviously work differently to the sales guys, but we have a PM meeting every Wednesday. She's on the screen every morning. Like, I get my phone every morning. She loves a good morning with a bit of an emoji or a cat thing or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and the girls or the PM team all respond to that, and it's a really good way to start the day. And you know, sometimes I actually go, wow, you know, like, I've got this coming across to my phone at 7 o'clock in the morning. She's like obviously up into it. Good morning,
like,
I'm ready
that's
to go.
Just like,
yeah.
And then I learn from her. I'm like, oh, that reminds me to send a message to my guys. I'm like, yeah, hey guys, like rip in for the day kind of stuff. Or so the PM one is obviously a slightly different configuration of how she works. But again, we couldn't do it without her.
Great. I mean, it's Ray White. You know, it's no secret. You guys have got some great systems, great processes, and it's really great to support. You know, we've got a handful of Ray White officers that we love working with. Do you see? You know, we spoke a little bit earlier before we came on the mics about data and how important that is, and VAs capturing that data for agents. Is that something you see going forward?
Yeah, so we have I actually reviewed it really quickly before I came this morning, but we have an ideal week, for the VAs that work with the agents that we've got at the moment, and a part of their ideal week is data. But most definitely, like, data is a huge part of our business these days. And as you said, the conversation I've been thinking about ever since we left that, about how we can implement that kind of new, building a database for an agent that's new to the area, or maybe worked in real estate in Sydney that's moved up to Brisbane and doesn't know it. So they've got the skill set to be the agent, but they just don't have the data. So data is a huge thing, and I think that space is improving. ID for me, in conjunction with Nurture Cloud, in conjunction with the other processes, all the AI stuff, putting it all together is going to be a big part of our industry in the next couple of years.
All right, and the last thing is going to be my new Crystal Ball series for real estate agents. So it's August 2025. The property's worth $1.5 million right now in Clayfield. What's that going to be worth in 2026 August?
What, in 1 year?
Yeah, what's it going to do in 1 year?
Oh, I don't know. It's definitely on the increase. How much more, mate?
So we're still increasing.
Yeah, definitely still increasing. Yeah, 100%. It's probably plateaued a little bit. We've seen a fair bit of growth. It's probably plateaued, but I think, a lot of hype about the Olympics in Brisbane. We kind of have read a little bit, and we're really lucky to work with Ray White. We've got the chief economist, Nerida Conisbee, who studied the market, or studied markets all around the world, about what actually happened to the real estate market leading into the Olympics. So there's studies on the Sydney Olympics and the other Olympics that have been in the past on like how it kind of tracks. But I think, like the study, I think it increases, but about 3 years out, there's a significant increase. So we think it will be pretty good for the next couple of years, and then we'll see another jump.
Right.
Yeah. So where we work, Ascot, Hamilton, the Athletes Village is going really close. Hopefully, down at Portside, Hamilton North Shore there. So it's a really interesting development where it's not built like an Athletes Village. If it all goes to plan, like, it's still kind of up in the air. Like,
it's going to have a secondary use.
Yeah, it's secondary use. So it's not just like a dormitory style. It's like an apartment that can be repurposed.
Yep.
Someone can buy it and be repurposed as somewhere to live in the future. So that's kind of the plan. There has been changes along the way.
Yeah,
so
everything seems to change.
Yeah, so hopefully it comes out that way, but it'll end up being like an immediate development site down there with people to move in.
Nice.
So what the price is going to be within a year.
I'm not going to hold everyone to it. I'm not going to do like a recap in 12 months and go, gotcha.
Yeah, hopefully definitely some increase, hopefully, north of 1.5, hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today, Alexander, and thanks so much for your support with VA4U. We absolutely treasure working with you guys. So
not a problem.
Long may it continue.
We couldn't do it without you either. So it's definitely, it's added an extra layer to our business.
Brilliant.
Definitely couldn't recommend it more.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, Alexander.
No worries. Thank you.